idea what closures are?
No.
So let's start. Okay. So we have here some rules when we're writing functions. First of all, use the parameters and use variables in its own scope. It's like do not use any global variables, and it's bad. Any of you know why?
It could change any time with another function or another
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
prone to change, and then it will mess up the function itself.
So let's get this example about it. So we just want to do a simple summation. Obviously, we know each how to deal with it right now. And we have a global variable that's outside the function. That is the total. So the first time we want the function with these numbers is going to give us 14 because 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 5 is 14. All right. And what happens if we invoke now the function for a second time? Whoops. Always about this thing. Okay. This is example. It's going to become 28. Because we're not resetting the total each time, it just keeps adding to itself. Is it clear for everyone?
Yeah.
No questions? Okay, let's continue. Okay, so now when we move it inside the function, it's going to always, no matter how many times we call it, it's going to always give the right amount, the right total. It's because every time we invoke it, it goes to the first line, it says var total equals 0, so it starts from 0, and then it returns it, and that's it. Okay, so these are the parameters at the start. Okay, these are the parameters, and the string rule allows with using variables in its own scope, which is the total. So this is the right way to write functions in general. But now, what if we want to preserve the value? Obviously, if you put in the total, it preserves the value, right? But it leads to some other problems that maybe other functions will interfere and maybe increase the value, even though it's not intended for that one. So that's why we have something called closures. Okay, so
even when it's inside the function?
no, inside the function is a solution to the other, if it's a global variable.
Local
Yeah.
But
scope.
now, global variable is good because let's say you have a balance in your account. Let's say every time you withdraw money or deposit, you just change the amount, right? So you need to have it a constant of it, not every time you start with 100. Maybe the first time you initialized your account was 100, but every time you took out of it, what is this going? No. All right, okay. So we have like this balance. So let's say you did a withdrawal, it will always minus the amount. But you need to change it. Like say you had 100, you removed 50 from it, then you're gonna have 50 back. Those remain, so you can remove from it, let's say another 20 or something like that. So the issue here, if you had another person who wanted to withdraw, and he will just take from the same balance, because this is global for all the people in a way. So it has to do some sorts of like security purposes, like having your own scope with you. So okay, so makes sense what we're trying to do?
Yeah.
One question. Okay. Any questions? I can repeat it maybe in a better way.
So what I understood, it is a global scope, but it's on purpose because it's going to
No,
benefit
for now
us.
this is just showing the bad way, right? But then what's going to happen if we, sometimes we need the information to stay with us, right? We don't want to change. Same with this example.
Okay.
But again, with the issue with this example that other people will have, with different accounts will access the same balance, which is wrong. So that's the point of it. Makes sense? Okay, so let's continue. So here's just a simple function. It checks if the balance, if after you take the balance from the amount, it's more than 0 or equal 0, then it will minus that amount. Otherwise, it will tell you insufficient funds, which you don't have enough money. Right. So this is an example. Like at first, we withdraw 50, then 30, then another 50, then it gives you that you cannot. But now this is the issue that other people can actually do the same to you. Like if anyone else did, like you can change the balance as the variable itself, and it will just mess things up, right? This will make your code unstable. So now we need to create something called as a closure. Closure basically is you encapsulate your code. As you can see, this old code, right? We encapsulate it in another function. No, it's a higher order function is different. You just create something general that you can use in multiple places. Now this one, this is all old code, right? It's exactly this one. Well,
Is it like a nested function?
Yeah.
yes, function and non-function. So I'll explain more about this. So this is the first thing, you encapsulate it in another function. Okay, so here there can be some changes. Okay, so first of all, we need to like pass the initial amount, like how much money you want to start your account with, and whatsoever. And as you can see, our balance still exists. The function itself, the withdrawal still exists, but what do we return? We return withdrawal. So basically, the main account function will return another function, which is the withdrawal. This is what's gonna. The point of this is this function. What's outside of it is global to it, right? So this balance is global to this withdrawal, but it's not global for the main account. So if you create different accounts, the balance will only be contained for that specific account. So with each account you're creating its own balance, and you're accessing the withdrawal with like a smaller scope, not like the whole global scope. Make sense?
Yeah.
Can't we just put the variable balance inside of the function withdrawal?
Inside the function,
Yeah.
it wouldn't work because you need it. As we said, let's say you put this one here, right?
Yeah.
Let's say you initialize it the first time.
Okay.
Then second time, and you let's say took out the money or whatever.
It will
The next time you want to
initialize
invoke the function, it will reinitialize it.
Oh, okay.
So you need to always pass different stuff. This is the issue that we talked about. If you put it inside, it will keep resetting
So
at
you
that.
have to put it global,
Yeah.
but not global for
So basically, we need to reset the whole code once, but this can be called multiple times, right? Because if we start from here, it goes from top to bottom. This one, we just want it to be called only once, this line. Same as when it's global.
So,
The withdrawal amount, are you just put it as parameter in the global function?
The withdrawal.
Amount, is it gonna ask you for amount when you access the?
Yes, you will see how later on.
so it is that they're basically two functions, but inside each other. So I call the function withdrawal as many times as I want, and then when I call the function make account, it will give me the balance within the function withdrawal. Is that how it works? I call them.
When you make an account, you initialize an account, okay?
Yeah,
From that account, you will have the initial value that you set for the balance.
yeah.
Then you can access that withdrawal function inside of it, and it will only minus from the withdrawal with that associated balance. Okay. So we'll see how it works. It's a bit different than what you guys are used to. So let's continue. Okay. So first you create a variable. So here var account equal make account. What is this gonna do for us? Okay. So this will call this code only once. So we're gonna have like var balance equals what 100. Then this code nothing changes. We did not pass any amount. Then here we just return it. Okay. So
What should be return withdraw? Because the initial, which is 100,
yeah.
okay, he go to inside the withdraw.
So okay. So basically, what's the value of account right now? Who knows?
100.
Not the balance. What's the value of account? This one.
It's the balance.
Here is your.
What? The function, yes. So basically, as you can see, since all functions are basically values, you can any function when you create it will be replaced
With the return.
with its return value, and if there's none, it will be undefined. Okay? So basically, when we create an account, we pass to it this function, right? What's the value of this function?
The withdrawal.
Return withdrawal. This one has another function inside it. So the account value is actually only this function with this scope that comes with it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So you just return a smaller function, and this function actually has access to the scope that you created it with when you initialize it, and that's it. Any questions?
You finished?
Please feel, no, there's still one. Feel free to ask. I just want everyone to be on the same page before we just continue. Because this is an important subject. The next 2 or 3 lectures will be almost the same thing, so you need to pay attention.
Okay, so what the value for amount? Amount here is not.
For amount, we still did not do anything. As we said, the account here is only equal in this so far, right? Since the account now is equal this, the withdrawal function, we can, if we draw the account, in parentheses, we pass the value, that's the value for the withdrawal.
Yeah.
Because it's the same, right?
Yeah, but that's not initialized. The amount is the amount.
The amount. No.
Just give it.
Okay, I'll show you now.
Give it.
So, since the account is actually equal to what? To this function, right? If we just do account alone, it will give us the function itself.
Yes.
So if you pass the amount to it, that's when you pass the parameter for it, okay? I then try to show you how. Okay, so what do we have? Function.
You have to zoom in.
Yeah, I will always. Is this good?
Yeah.
Okay, so here we have what? Our
Initial.
Okay, so here what do we have? Our balance equal initial. Then we here what did we return? Withdrawal. This is how we put that withdrawal. Okay, so here we have the function withdrawal amount. Okay. What else we have? So right F balance more than or equal 0.
Balance minus amount.
Oh, balance minus, yeah. Amount more than or equal 0. We return say balance. Otherwise we return, whatever. Oops. Let's copy it and try to the console. Okay, so now if we do the same for our account, let's see what make count, and we pass like 100 for it, okay? So now if we go to this one, see the value of the account itself is the withdrawal function. Yeah, it does not show you the balance anymore. The balance is the related scope to this function, and that's it, okay? So, does that make sense?
Yeah.
So basically now, since the account is equal to this function, and this function, what, it needs a parameter.
Shouldn't we put, sorry,
Okay.
shouldn't we put return row with something? Like, we have to put a value for amount.
A value. Oh yeah. For now, I'm just showing you. The account itself is equal to make account, right? Make account contains what? The withdrawal function only. But somewhere hidden in there, it has what? The balance. Okay, so here, if we do balance, it's undefined. Why? Because the balance is not enrolled. Otherwise, if we put it outside the function, like it was before the bank account, we will still be able to see it. But since it's so basically, what we got is a function with its own scope. Okay? Makes sense. Okay. So now, as we said, since this is a function, it means we can pass to it parameters. So let's try this. So we pass 20. So yeah, I have the. Did I not? Oh, I did not minus. Yep. So we need to do minus that amount. Okay. Okay, so this is what happened. So here, to just prove that it still persists, so if we do the same thing,
60.
it will not change.
Just be 20.
Yeah, wait. I have an issue someplace. What is it? Amount. I'm not sure why it's. Okay, but this one is still the worst. It's so weird. wait, yeah. Sorry.
Reset the balance.
I did not reset the balance. Again.
What?
I did not reset the balance, sorry. I did not notice this. I thought I did, but. Yeah, so here is balance. Balance equal. Yeah, sorry. I forgot to do this part. Yeah, so basically here we take one, then another one, another. Okay?
About $1.
What?
Why don't you call the withdraw in the function?
What do you mean? Call it.
It's not gonna see it. Just, do you want?
Yeah, but you need the balance, right? Our issue is with preserving the balance. That's all.
That's-
The thing is, if we just put it as a global variable, it will just go away, right? If you want to keep it inside the function, you need also to pass the balance every time. You need to keep track, oh, my balance, the last time I subtracted was 20, so I have 80, and I'll need to remove 5, so I have 75.
And you need to associate it with each person or each account, so that's why you
So
need-
yeah, every account we create has its own balance. Now if we do something else, let's say, SSC1, main account. This one was a poor person, he only had 10. So, as you can see, the first one is still working, right? This one still counted correctly, but this one is different. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
So let's try to draw it. It's one function. You know, whatever the name is, and one. We have here another function.
Islam, if you're gonna call withdraw, the function itself is gonna give you undefined.
What do you think?
I think it's gonna give you undefined.
Why?
It's not global.
Yes, it's not global. Also, the same as the balance. We tried the balance, we could not find it because the balance only exists in the main account. When you instantiate it, it exists. So basically, this is what we have, and here we return function 2, okay? So basically, this function returns this function, alright? So whatever code we put here has access to what? To this scope.
So, yeah.
Yeah, well, anything before the return. Let's assume the return is the last thing after it. So anything before it, it will have access to it. Also the global scope for everything, which is above this function, okay? So this is global. This is what the closure. Oh, whatever. It's not English even. Okay, so, yeah, so now it has like its own, this function now has its own what? Closure variables. So here can any variable you want to make it like secure or private for this specific thing, you can have it in a closure. Okay? It will persist, as you can see, with the balance. Since here we're always changing the closure variable, and we just have it over here. Okay? Make sense? Let's see with the slides. Okay. Yeah, so basically this is the closure function.
Yeah.
This is what the closure variable that we have over here. You can define as much as you want, as many as you want, it does not matter. As you can see here, this is how we were changing the balance. We changed this one, and you cannot access from anywhere. Only if you instantiate, you will have access to the balance with the particle function. Okay. Closures allow us to introduce persistent variables without using global scope. So as you saw at the start, we had an issue with using global scope, but now we can have persistent data without using it.
What's the persistent means?
To stay. To stay.
Stay.
Yeah, not change, like yeah, let's say if you put here some code like you want to write, every time you call the function, what does it do? It keeps recalling it and redefining it and so on, right? But because we want the data to stay, like if we minus your balance, we need the same data, we don't need it to change. So after the change, we want it to stay the same. So next time you use it in the bank account, you will be able to use this one, alright? And that's it.
Question. A big part of the closure is to assign it to a variable. Is that correct?
Yes,
Big part
because
of it.
main account, because when you create a variable, let's go. Okay, like here. So, is there any other way to use this withdraw without the variable?
Not really, because the value is in make account. Right?
Basically, every account we create is another withdrawal function with a closure variable.
Yeah.
Alright? Make sense? Any questions?
I want to ask you a question. Here, when we put the first value in the make account 100, right?
Yeah.
Put this value in the balance, variable balance, right? Okay. When I call the function for the second time, I put it like 30.
Okay.
You
You
should
mean main account again, you call it?
Same account.
the same account.
Okay.
Make account this function.
Okay.
Put the initial value at 100.
100.
Okay.
Okay.
And put it inside the variable like account. like
Okay.
this. And when I call the account to the second time
Okay.
and put it 15,
Okay.
you should replace the balance variable to 15, right?
No.
Why?
I'll tell you why. So, as we said, what is the account value? The account value is a variable, right? Variable holds values, right? In this case, it holds the value of this function, main account. What's the value of main account? Here, as you can see, we need to look at what the return value. What's the return value? Function. It's another function, not the same one. So this is why, if you're passing something, you're passing it here, not over there, okay? So if you do the count alone, as I showed you before, it will tell you it's a function. And that's it. And it's over here.
Yeah.
See? So here when we call the ACC LLC, we have a C make account 100, right? We called it without passing anything, right? This is what we got. Another function. We just the code of it. There's no execution. If you want to execute it, obviously since it's equal to a function, it needs a parameter, right? So this is how it's going. So if we pass something to it, we'll understand it, how it's working, okay?
Once we type SEC, it gives us the.
I fixed it later, so just put it from here to this place. When it started working, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, why not giving us undefined? Because we did not pass any parameters there, right?
ACC? No, you know, it exists. ACC exists.
Okay.
Because it will at first do the make account. Any function you want to write, let's say make account alone. See? I just provided the name. I did not make any execution for it. I just did this. And that's it.
To give the whole function.
It just gives you what the return value. But in this time it happened to be it gives you the whole code that you created the function with, okay? Which is here like the whole thing with the balance, with everything, not just the return value. But when you execute it, it gives you the return value by itself.
But you can change the balance from make.
And look here, if we execute this one, what's the return for us? A withdrawal function. But can we use this one alone? No. This is why we need to save it in a variable. See, this is the return value. With execution, it gives us only the withdrawal function.
Without execution the function.
Hmm?
Without execution the function, yeah?
Without.
With executing the function. This is executing.
Yeah. Without, it gives you the whole thing.
Question. Make account here.
Yeah.
When I put the 80, what is the value of the amount? We put the
So far there's no
balance.
value. So far there's no value for the account. Call it without anything, it gets the code,
No,
right?
when I
Call
put
it with
the
80, then the
value.
balance became 80. But there's no, we still did not pass anything here. I'm not sure if this is gonna work, but let's try.
Yeah. It's working.
It worked. See how it went?
So that the test
Since
for
the invocation is a function, it means we can add to it.
So we don't have to put it inside the variable.
You need, because you want to access it again. How will you access the same one? You need to initialize. See, if you did this again, you initialize it with the number. Even if you put 70, then another 10, it will you will reinitialize it again. This is why we save it in a variable, so it persists. Does that make sense?
Yeah, we save the value in that variable.
Yeah.
So
And
you can use
please
them again.
always think about functions as values. It is a value. Whatever you have function code, it will be replaced with the return value. Okay? Whatever operations you're doing, whether it's map what? The whole code for map will go and you just have one array instead of it. So you can do like map, at the end of it you can do dot join, for example. It still works because what? That is a function, has a value, happen to be an array, so you can join it. Same with this one. As you can see, when we invoked it, it gave us a function. It's a function, it means we can actually invoke it, because this means function. This is another one. Okay? Make sense?
Yeah.
All good? Thumbs up, thumbs up.
Can you go back to the when you create the Laravel account? Just
Okay. Let's just create our account. Well, so now we will do account. And we do like this. So as you can see, since again, it gave me the return value of this one, right? There's nothing. So since this is a function, what we can pass parameters. So if we pass something, it will understand it. And it will keep saving it, okay? Every time. Because it's saved in the account. But if we didn't have the account variable, this will not work, okay? It will work if you do it like what we did here, but again, you need to always reinitialize the values. And that's it. But please just thumbs up. Like this is for like a little bit, so this is good, this is bad. Okay. Doing help desk, please, if anything before starting, if you need more clarification, I can help you. Also the other HRs, alright? And was my voice good? Everything was good? Any feedback?
Yeah, everything was good. Yeah.
Very good. And that's it.
And we have Windows PC.
Yeah, that's the next part.
We can't just force smartphones. So they'll just take that clip off. Please take that clip off.